In the beginning of the story, we see a girl named Simone running. She comes to give her paper. She runs and comes to her friends. Simone was talking to them. Then her dad Frederick comes running. Frederick tells his friends to run from here to some other place as soon as possible. Frederick starts to take his daughter away from there and says that in a short time a poisonous rain is going to happen. Frederick was moving forward with his car. On the other hand, black clouds are coming in the whole city. Here, Frederick was taking his whole family and going to a bunker far from here so that they all can escape from that poisonous rain. Frederick asks his son to tie a seat belt, and in the meantime, his attention is distracted, which causes his car to crash into another car. And as soon as he sees it, the whole road is jammed with cars. Here, Frederick asks a man to move his car from the front, but the road was completely closed from the front. So, he takes his family and leaves from there, and they all run straight to the jungle. A man stops them from the back, but they don't listen to anyone and go straight to the bunker and reach the bunker quickly. Here, Frederick quickly puts his fingerprint and opens the bunker, and everyone goes inside it. As soon as they go inside, the first drop of rain falls on a leaf from the sky and a heavy rain starts. As soon as they enter the bunker, Frederick completely sanitizes his family so that they can avoid the poisonous rain. Then Frederick gives a device to his wife Ellen and says that this device contains information related to the bunker. Then Frederick wears a suit and gets ready to go out. Before going, Frederick tells his daughter Simone that I have to go out in any case because I can only stop this poisonous rain. And if it is not stopped, no one will survive. But in the future, Simone forbids him to go out. But Frederick tells her that I promise I will come back in any case. He tells her to take care of his brother and leaves from there. As soon as he leaves, Simone looks at her mobile. So, her friends were also in trouble because her friends' parents were also killed because of that poisonous rain. Seeing this, she gets very scared. The man was standing in front of her who was stopping her from going into the jungle. That man was completely soaked in that rain and infected. And in the meantime, he pulls out Simone's brother. But then, Ellen runs there and jumps on that man. And in the meantime, she starts to suffer because of that poisonous rain. She asks them to go inside quickly. That's why Simone immediately closes the door of that bunker. Seeing his mother dying, they start crying because their mother is no longer among them. Then Simone calls his dad, but his dad was not picking up his call, meaning he is also in danger. After that, she makes his brother sleep for the night. The next day, Simone's brother sees the same device that his dad gave to his mother. When Simone sees it, she finds a lot more bunker maps there, meaning she finds a radio in that bunker. And luckily, she finds that radio there, and she quickly shouts for help on that radio. But there too the signal was not coming. Seeing this, she asks her brother to take the radio antenna up, and luckily, the signal comes there. And Simone immediately talks to a boy Flip from another bunker. But before she could talk more, the signal cuts there. Seeing this, her brother's eyes start to cry. But at night, she again hears Flip's voice on the radio. She was talking to him, then unfortunately the signal is cut again. The same days and months pass by and we are shown a time of 6 years later, where Rasmus has become young and now he was tired of waiting for his dad. That's why he is very angry with Simone. That's why Simone is now thinking and thinks of going out of that bunker. That's why when Rasmus was sleeping, she closes the door of his room. And to save herself from that virus, she wears a suit and opens the door of that bunker after 6 years. And as soon as she opens the door and comes out, she hears her mother screams everywhere. But she moves forward holding herself. And as she walks, she comes to the city. As soon as she comes, she sees a sign which was pointing forward, which was 2500 meters away from here. Simone, following that sign, reaches a building where she could only see a pile of corpses everywhere. Then a dog sees him and suddenly goes after him. She runs and hides in a room. The next morning, Rasmus wakes up from sleep and comes to him. So Simone tells him that last night she went out of the bunker and there are dead bodies everywhere outside and no one is left alive. Hearing this, Rasmus gets a little scared. That's why he tells her that tomorrow morning we will go to another bunker from here. But suddenly the air vent gets blocked and oxygen starts to run out in the bunker, because of which Simone gets unconscious. But at the right time, Rasmus drags her out of the bunker. And as soon as they come out, they are caught by some people who had blocked the air vent of that bunker. That's why the oxygen was gone there. Actually, when Simone went out of the house that night, then those people saw her. They locked them both in a bunker again. There they find food, but all the food was gone there. That's why their leader Martin says, leave them both here alone to rot. And then everyone starts going from there. But then Simone calls him and tells him that I know about other bunkers like this, but I am the only one who knows about their location. And there's a lot of food in those bunkers. Hearing this, Martin gets lost in thought and joins them in his group. After this, they all move on from there and tired of losing, they rest at one place. Here, Martin tells Simone that maybe we are the only ones left in this world because the whole world outside is destroyed by that poisonous rain. And the people who are left, they are killing each other because all the food is getting finished. That's why I came there to find food and I had to make you a prisoner. After this, the scene cuts and we are shown Martin, because he was a soldier. There he was told to kill a woman who was infected with the rain. But Martin couldn't shoot the girl because of the virus. And because of the infected woman, all his friends got infected with the virus. And all of them died with the woman. But he saved his life and ran away from there. After this, the scene comes to the present, where they were all moving towards the other bunkers. But then, Martin sees some hunters, seeing which they hide immediately. Those hunters fly their drone there, and suddenly they see a girl running. They run after to catch her. Martin asks everyone to leave, but Simone refuses, and says that we should save that girl's life. So, even though they don't want to, they all run to save that girl. And soon after, they find that girl stuck in the dirty rainwater, which was now infected. So Martin kills her on the spot and they start moving forward. Soon after, they reach a building. As soon as they reach there, they see a pile of corpses everywhere. As soon as they enter that building, they start closing the windows and doors firmly, so that no one can attack them at night. They also get the clean water to drink in that building. That's why they decide to spend the night there. As soon as morning comes, they start their journey again, and soon after, Rasmus's foot gets stuck in the poisonous rainwater. When Martin finds out, he asks everyone to stay away from him, because he was also about to get infected now. And then, Martin was about to shoot him. Simone comes in front of him and forbids him to shoot, because she didn't want to lose her brother. But when a girl checks his shoes with a bat, those shoes were waterproof, and the water didn't even touch his feet. That's why he's saved, and they all move forward again. And soon after, they find the other bunker. Here Simone quickly puts her fingerprint on it. As soon as they go inside, they find a lot of food there. So they all fill their stomachs after a few days. Here, Simone finds a mobile, where she finds a video of Frederick's boss. In that, her boss was asking her to come to Sweden in an emergency. He also tells her that you are the only person who can stop this poisonous rain. That's why Simone shows that video to Martin and says that my dad will definitely be in Sweden. She tells Martin that we should go to Sweden today, but Martin clearly refuses, and tells her that I don't think anyone will be alive there, because no one else could survive here. So, he leaves from there, but Simone was still worried about his dad. So both the siblings leave from there that day. Here, Beatrice and her friend come and ask about Simone and Rasmus. From ahead, Martin tells them that they both went to Sweden to find their dad. Hearing this, they both leave Martin alone and go from there, and they move forward to find them. A little further, they find Simone and her brother. Here, Martin and Patrick are left alone in that bunker. That's why Martin is very angry. Here, all the friends move forward once again, and they eat their stomach full of food. They were sitting there after eating food. Then they come there, seeing which they all run from there. But while running here, Simone was separated from the rest of the friends. She reaches a place while searching for them, where she sees a child standing. But then, she sees thick black clouds rising in the sky. That's why she runs away with that child. That child starts taking pills to finish the hunger. But then Simone gives him some food. And in the meantime, the father of that child comes there and he takes his child as a hunter and leaves from there. And as soon as he comes out, he's surrounded by that hunter. And he hits him badly. Seeing this, Simone runs away from there in fear. But a man sees him from behind while running. As soon as Simone comes to a building, she meets his friends there. She asks them to run from there. But then the same man comes, the one who saw Simone running. He asks them for food, but they didn't have food. So that man grabs Rasmus, and he was about to kill her when Martin comes and puts a gun on him. So that man runs from there with a knife, and Rasmus starts to suffer there. So Simone says to Martin that there is another bunker nearby. We have to go there quickly. Now, somehow they take Rasmus and run from there to that bunker. They reach that bunker quickly and come inside and immediately get infected with Rasmus. Here, Martin shows Simone a device that had a map of the entire city. Martin tells Simone that the wall in this map will definitely not be a virus, because the government made it so that the infected people from the virus cannot go to the other side. If we reach this place, then maybe we can survive. Here, Rasmus's wound was also slowly growing. Looking at this, Simone tells Martin that if we don't need a doctor, then Rasmus's condition will get worse. So Martin agrees from the front, and there Simone is pointed to a place by her friend and tells her that you can go inside by that way. But there are hunters there too. They can catch you anytime. But Simone didn't have any other way to save her brother. That's why she goes ahead from there. But then, a drone starts chasing her from above, which saves her, and she quickly enters a building. And in the meantime, those hunters reach there and they take her to a gunpoint. But then Simone's friends come and beat them up. Here, Martin asks them about that wall, but he clearly refuses from the front. Meanwhile, a boy named Jean there sees a snake tattoo on the hunter's arm. Seeing this, a strange fear settles inside him, and he immediately tells Martin to kill them all. That's why Martin reloads his gun and kills them there, and they all rush to the doctor. The hunter asks her something, but she refuses in advance, and he shoots her there without telling her. Here Jean was also looking at her through a hole. Then he sees the same man there whose hand was covered with a snake tattoo. Seeing this, Jean presses that girl's mouth tightly and closes it, so that she doesn't hear her voice. Meanwhile, the hunter also takes that girl's mother from there. When they leave, Jean removes the hand from that girl's mouth, but when he sees her, she had already broken her leg. Seeing this, Jean breaks completely from inside. After this, the scene comes to the present, where they all reach at one place. There they find out about that doctor's house with the help of drone, and after finding out, they reach that doctor's house, and then they knock on that doctor's door. Then that doctor comes out and shoots them. But somehow, Simone calms him down, and on the spot, Martin tells him everything, that they need his help. That's why he gets ready for their help, and he puts a nail on Dr. Rasmus's wound. Meanwhile, she tells him that Rasmus's wound is still not completely healed. That's why we have to inject him with tetanus. She tells him that we have to go to a bunker for injection, which is near his house. That's why they all go to the same bunker, and as soon as they come, Simone sees the
same bunker which was his dad's company Apollo's. Doctor tells him that I used to work in Apollo company. That's why I was also bunked. As soon as he comes, she prepares an injection for Dr. Simone and she ties him on a bed. Then she pushes Dr. Simone and ties him with a rope. She tells him that because of your dad, Frederick, my whole family died. Even my kids were killed because of that rain. Doctor tells him that if your dad hadn't done that experiment, then that poisonous rain wouldn't have happened and today my kids and my family would have been alive. The rest of the friends were looking for food from the doctor's house. Then Martin looks outside, so the same hunters had come. Here when Jean looks, so the hunter was standing outside whose arm was covered with a snake tattoo. Seeing this, he suddenly goes crazy. That's why he picks up a gun and comes out and puts the hunter there. But then, he is caught by the hunter. See the other children run away from there. Here she was about to inject Dr. Rasmus with that poisonous injection. Then Patrick comes there and shoots him. And on the spot, everyone runs away from there. And they start their journey forward again. And when they come a little further, they see a house far away, in which the light was on. That means someone is living there. That's why they come to him. But then a man comes in front of them. He allows them to spend the night in his house, but they have to keep their weapons outside. So they go inside the house, even though they don't want to. As soon as they come in, there were a lot of people in the same clothes. Seeing them, they feel something strange. They give them a room to spend the night in which they complete their sleep. And in the morning, a woman Karen asks them to have breakfast. And after a few days, they eat their stomach full. But the surprising thing is that where did they get so much food? After that, she brings Simon Rasmus to a doctor in that house because his wound was slowly growing. That doctor takes out an injection there, which was exactly the same as the one that was with that doctor who wanted to kill them. So seeing this, Simone refuses him and says that Rasmus should be treated without making him unconscious. So that doctor puts that injection aside. And when that doctor's attention goes towards Rasmus, then at that moment, Simone hides an injection from there. She quickly starts checking that injection. After checking, she finds out that it was the injection of Apollo company. Everyone was eating dinner at night. But here, Martin was hiding and checking the whole house. Then he opens a fridge, so there was a human body hanging in front of him. Martin comes and hits the man on the face, but in the meantime, the doctor takes him to the gunpoint. That man asks everyone to open their packets. Here everyone slowly starts opening their packet. But when Leah opens her packet, the flower comes out of her packet. Seeing this, she loses her consciousness. They start taking her away from there. But then that same woman, Karen, takes the flower from her hand and says, I think of her as my daughter, that's why I don't want her to be our food. She tells me that I'm ready to die for myself instead of Leek. Hearing this, Leek starts crying, and that woman for the last time takes his hand and leaves. After that, they all get ready to leave. Then Simone asks that doctor about her dad, Frederick. From then on, the doctor tells her that yes, I was Frederick's assistant, and it's my and Frederick's hand that's responsible for spreading this virus. Hearing this, Simone leaves feeling sad. But then that man asks that doctor to leave his house. Everyone was moving ahead of the jungle. Then that doctor comes there, and he shows an injection and says that because of this injection, that poisonous rain spread and everything was over. Then he injects the injection in his throat, which makes him feel like he's in pain. But then Martin shoots him, and his work is done there. At night, they spend time in an empty house, and in the morning, Martin shows Simone the map in which there was a wall. He tells her that we have to reach there somehow, otherwise it's difficult for us to survive. That's why Martin tells everyone to walk across that wall. But here, Rasmus forbids him, and he says that I can't go because my health is not yet to go out. But Simone doesn't want to leave her brother alone. That's why she tells someone to stop her. Here, Beatrice gets ready to stop her. After that, they all leave from there. Patrick finds a tablet with some videos recorded. Patrick gives the tablet to Simone. She finds out that her dad Frederick was also behind this poisonous rain. She feels bad when she sees this. They immediately leave the bunker. But before that, Simon and Rasmus tell him that they don't care about him. Martin also tells him a lot. He goes to the poisonous rain. Simone tries to stop him, but he pushes him away. And he was also completely soaked in the rain. Meanwhile, Martin comes with his gun. He was about to shoot him, then Leah comes in front of him. She stops him from shooting, but Martin also clearly refuses. That's why Leah also goes with him in the rain. But then he sees that no effect of rain is happening on him. Then he puts his gun down and sends them into the bunker. Here Rasmus and Beatrice were both sitting. Then a drop of that rain falls on Beatrice, seeing which his senses fly away. She cries there because now she was also going to be infected. But Rasmus makes her believe that nothing happens with a single drop. You don't worry. That's why she spends the whole night in fear. Here when Martin finds out that Simone herself didn't go in the rain, in fact Patrick had pushed her intentionally, that's why he gets angry at her and asks her to get out of the bunker. Here in the morning, when Rasmus wakes up and looks at Beatrice, so there the ground is slipping under his feet because Beatrice was dead there. Here Martin also answers Patrick and he says pack all your stuff and leave from here because now we don't need you. So that day Patrick leaves from there crying. Patrick comes straight from there to the house where Rasmus was stopped. When he comes, he sees that Rasmus was coming out with Beatrice's body. Seeing this, he runs from there with his back foot. He runs and falls down at one place. As soon as he stands, someone suddenly comes and puts clothes on his head and he is put in a car. Then he sees the man who was the leader of those hunters who was standing behind him to catch them. That man asks about his other friends that where are they? But in future, Patrick clearly refuses. That's why he threatens him and tells him that if you don't tell us, I will take out all your teeth one by one. But still Patrick refuses in future. Martin tells him that he was thrown out of the bunker and he had left. Then the doorbell rings. Martin comes out and sees Rasmus Beatrice standing. But Martin forbids him to come in because he knew that with Beatrice, Rasmus was also infected. But Rasmus doesn't listen to him and he comes straight into the bunker with Beatrice. Rasmus was very sad to see Beatrice dead. Then Simone comes to him in a suit and says that Beatrice is dead now. That's why you have to leave her and come with us. But Rasmus clearly forbids her. And during this time, Rasmus takes a radio and leaves. He comes from there, then someone's voice comes on his radio. When he talks, the same hunter tells him in advance that how many people are you? If you don't tell us, I will kill your friend Patrick. That's why he doesn't want to tell him their location. This is when Patrick tells the hunter that Rasmus was with an infected girl before, but he himself is not infected yet. Hearing this, the hunters are happy that he is the only person who can help us. Here Martin and Leah bury Beatrice's body in the jungle. But then Simone comes and shows a map and says that we have to find Rasmus and Patrick now because those hunters have caught them. She quickly flies the drone and makes a sound to distract the hunter. The hunter follows the sound and reaches a place. And as soon as he arrives, all the friends catch them there. Here Martin talks to his leader on the radio and says, I have caught your companion. If you want to see him alive, in return, you will have to return him with us. The next day, Simone asks the hunter to meet Rasmus alone. He tells her that your brother Rasmus's body is not having any effect on that poisonous rain. So now I'm going to inject him with an injection so that we can find out how to stop that poisonous rain. Meanwhile, Martin brings his companion there, and in return, Simone asks for Rasmus. So that hunter sends Rasmus back to them. And in anger, he takes Rasmus's injection from Leah and puts himself on the ground. Seeing this, everyone's senses fly away, because now they felt that Rasmus was not among them. But then, he comes to his senses and he starts walking safely. Seeing this, Simone does not believe because the virus really did not affect Rasmus's body. After this, Martin directly comes to Patrick and asks him to forgive all his mistakes and hugs him. Here all the friends are ready to go to Apollo Company. Then the same man says lovingly on Rasmus's forehead that you are the last hope to save us all. After that, they all leave from there. In a short time, they all reach Apollo Company. As soon as they reach, that hunter asks Simon and Rasmus to go ahead. The rest of the people cannot go inside. They will have to stay in one bunker. They both move a little further, then Frederick comes in front of them. That is, Simon's dad. Seeing this, she is shocked. She is very angry with her dad, because her dad had promised to come back, but many years passed and he did not come. Then suddenly Rasmus falls down and gets unconscious. He quickly takes her to the medical ward, and Frederick asks Simon to wait outside. As soon as all the friends enter the bunker, Leah finds Jean's jacket. She looks for it and moves a little further. Jean was standing in front of her, seeing which she was not happy. That means Jean was still alive because she was actually a hunter of Apollo Company. On the other hand, Frederick takes Simon to his ward to show him Rasmus. Simon wanted to go inside, but Frederick stops him and says that there is no need to be afraid. I am doing all this for you so that you all can get rid of this virus. Here in the ward, a doctor wanted to take a sample of Rasmus's spit, but Rasmus refused him. Then that doctor forces him to do so, which makes Rasmus cut his hand. On the other hand, Frederick quickly comes to Simone and tells him in fear that take your brother and get away as soon as possible from here, because now there is no cure for this virus and it is going to spread very fast, which will kill everyone. As soon as he comes to Rasmus's ward, there that doctor was dying of the cut of Rasmus. Seeing this, Frederick quickly takes Rasmus's spit and looks at the microscope.
So there the ground is slipping under his feet, and he immediately puts an emergency on all the bunkers, and all the bunkers there are completely closed. Frederick quickly talks to the Apollo Company manager. He tells him in advance that do an operation on Rasmus in any way so that we can make a vaccine. But Frederick knew that if he did an operation on Rasmus, then Rasmus would wash his hands with his life, and he didn't want that at all. That's why Frederick tells Simone that as soon as possible, take your brother away from here because his life is in danger. Hearing this, Simone quickly comes and talks to Martin and tells him the way to open the bunker door. And as soon as possible, they open the bunker door and take Rasmus with them without running out of there. But then Frederick comes forward and tells him that you have to take Rasmus with you. Then Frederick throws his gun at him and threatens him that if you don't take Rasmus with you, then I will shoot you all. But suddenly, Martin moves forward and Frederick shoots him on the spot, which hurts Martin terribly. But then Simone pushes him down, and as soon as he does, they all run away from there. And this movie's part 1 ends here. If you want part 2 of this, then write part 2 in the comment.